I'm going to be doing 3 projects, light duty projects, over the next few days. No hurry for any of them. One project is going to be the removal of that ladder, the wooden ladder that's behind the metal ladder. And I'm going to do that using this 16-inch bar Stihl chainsaw. That's going to be the first project, but I want to explain the Philippines law when it comes to using chainsaws in the Philippines before I do that video. The second project is, I have it completed already. I did it last night. These pipe clamps, scaffold clamps, I have 24 of these out in this bucket, and over there and over there. And on each pipe clamp, the hinges and the threads have been oiled with hydraulic oil. And then I ran the nuts up and down the threads to get the oil up and down on the threads. That's the second job. And the third job is going to be over there on that table. I'm going to set up a metal chop saw. And I'm going to cut two 14-foot pieces of this pipe, leaving me about 7 feet of pipe on the end of each for scraps. And then I'm going to cut 28-inch rungs for the new metal ladder. And then I'm going to put that new metal ladder behind where this wooden ladder is. So let me describe to you the Philippines Chainsaw Act, which some people get confused because they don't read the whole process of the law or regulation or act itself. So what that describes in the Philippines Chainsaw Act is that foreigners are not allowed to do what I was licensed to do in America. I was a licensed landscaping contractor and excavation contractor. Hey, Scott, following the Philippines Chainsaw Act to the letter of the law. That's right. That's what I'm describing now. So as a landscaper and arborist with that tag, I could cut trees, trim trees, not mangroves, but trees. And I could remove trees with a permit. And I could use a wood chipper or a chainsaw. And if I had a job like at mile marker 88, 2.5 acres of land, I can clear that, pull the permit, clear it, and then grade the property. So here in the Philippines, you can't do stuff like that. In fact, foreigners are not allowed to cut down trees. It's called deforestation. However, some people confuse the fact that foreigners are not allowed to cut down trees and or own chainsaws to do such work with the confusion that you're not allowed to own a chainsaw and do work with the chainsaw. You are allowed to cut plywood or 2x4s or even trim trees on your own property. You're not allowed to cut the tree down, but you can do pruning, pruning, pruning on your trees. So there is a Chainsaw Act that prevents any foreigner from cutting down trees, which is called deforestation. Even just one tree is deforestation. So there's also a law that you're not allowed to import chainsaws into the Philippines. So this particular chainsaw, I bought this at Tire Queen for 10,000 pesos about 5-6 years ago. So you can buy a chainsaw here. You can use a chainsaw on your property to trim trees, but you're not allowed to remove trees. That's the law. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to set this camera up and face it towards the ladder, and I'm going to cut the rungs out of the ladder. I have the ladder tied up to a shiv on the roof on another pipe, and another shiv up on top of the neck, hanging from the pipe. A shiv, or what we call a pulley, but it's a shiv. And then I'm going to be gutting the rungs out of it, and I'm also going to pull a 2x2 that I strapped on there a few months back with a nail gun, quick, because the one left side of the ladder had collapsed. It was just eaten so much by termites. So I put what's called a strap on the back of the vertical of the thing. So that's going to be the first thing I'm going to use. I'll explain the tools I'm going to use now. I'm going to be using a 32-inch, 36-inch S-wing pry bar, crowbar, a 36-inch pry bar. And then I'm going to be using this Stihl chainsaw with a 16-inch bar, a Wonder Bar, Alpha Male Tools, and a 28-ounce S-wing hammer to do the removal of the strap. So I'm going to get this set up now. And of course I'm going to be using a pair of gloves and a headset for sound. So I'll get this camera set up. John Blaze, real man stuff. Yes, indeed. Hey, John, that was a great video you did yesterday. I appreciate the shout out. Thank you. That was pretty much on the money with everything that you said. Okay, so there's the ladder. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. So I'm going to be removing that white strap using the 36-inch crowbar, S-wing crowbar, and the hammer, and the Wonder Bar in conjunction with one another. I want to get that strap off because I have a particular use. It's a 2x2. It's made out of coconut lumber, and it's in pretty good condition. It's basically a new piece of wood, so I want to get that for reuse purposes. Then I'm going to set that chainsaw up and start lopping those steps out of there. That's the old ladder you hear getting crushed under pressure. Ah. Okay. Okay, so I have a use for this piece of wood. I'll put it over there before I clean it up. The next step, of course, is to lop out these ladder rungs. This is going to be, these are going to be rungs for the ladder when I start building the ladder. Okay. I need to move some buckets. Why do I have water bottles, you ask? Why are there multiple water bottles? Well, welcome to the Philippines, baby. Because I have 20 of these 10-liter bottles filled up with water. I put a little bleach in each one because sometimes we don't get water for 6 to 8 days. This week, today is day number 8, no water. Day number 8, no water. But they're supposed to be working on it today. They ripped up some pipes yesterday, to my chagrin, the way they just rip stuff out of the ground. They also ripped up other people's pipes by accident. And at that point, I left. I couldn't watch that happen. So let's see. Gonna cut these rungs out like this. One thing I want to do a little different is this has been tied up for a while, but not for the purpose of removing the ladder, just out of the way purpose. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna center this. And then I'm going to wrap it around like a cleat. Just wraps. That'll be okay. Cut the rungs, then I'm going to cut the height. Here we go. This is why I'm taking the ladder apart. This is what's left of the vertical column that's holding up the steps. just this rotten piece of lumber on all the steps. And when I walked on the ladder a couple of weeks back, the bottom rung fell off altogether. So I just want to check to make sure the phone is still on track to record this. And then I'm going to go back. So there's nothing but termite rot at all. Okay, so that's pretty good. Okay, I'll do the bottom, and then I'm going to start cutting the verticals. Nothing left but rotten termite dust. And that's what happens to all wood in the Philippines. Mahogany, not teak, and cocoa lumber, and Gemalaya. Look at this. I'm going to pull this piece out of here. It broke the 2x4 in half from just rot. It's an amazing thing. Okay, here we go, verticals. Look at what's left of this piece of wood. 4 years, and the termites have eaten all the way through this wood and this 2x4. And I walked up and down this ladder yesterday. Whoop-de-doo, yeah? It's an amazing thing. I got away with it. Alpha male stuff. Okay, so my rope held up the ladder properly. However, I have an electrical cord through the rung. I'm going to have to lop that out. Overhead chainsaw, alpha male stuff. I'm going to turn this phone around so I can see what you see. Okay, we have a floating ladder. I want to lower the cord down slowly. The ladder's going to fall, but it's going to fall on nothing. Another piece of termite damage. Imagine yesterday I walked up and down this ladder with this much termite damage. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. Okay, I threw the wood over there. Hey, because I'm going to use a metal frame that I have over here to just blow it apart. I'm going to use a hammer and a Wonder Bar. So this metal frame here, over there, I'm going to put this lumber up on top of there. I'm just going to bang the nails down, and then I'm going to put the wood outside the fence for the neighbors to use for firewood. I won't put it out with nails hanging out all over it, but I will put it out for them. So I'm going to check the comments, and then I'm going to lay the nails down and then put it out for the neighbors to take. I'll read the comments. Hey, Dennis. Hello, Bill. Yeah, I remember building that. Hey, John Blaze. Real man stuff, says John Blaze. Okay, so if anybody has a question, I'll wait about 30 seconds for the cost of a chainsaw, where to buy chainsaws. So this lumber here, this is very dry. My landlord, Nanai, of course, I'll offer it to her first. But, yeah, this, hey, Ding Ding, Paliho, come here, come here. No, now, come here now, come here. Does Nanai need firewood? Firewood? I'll put it by the tree. I'll put it over there. You come and pick it up? Okay, salamat. Okay, so now he wants the lumber, yeah. But I would bet you $100 he doesn't come back. He always says he's going to come back. But it doesn't matter, because there's one thing about the neighbors here. You'll go to the beach, and there might be 6 or 7, 8, 10 people collecting wood that washed up on the beach for firewood, and they'll make a pile. And that pile will stay there until they come and pick it up that day, tomorrow, next week, or 3 weeks from now. No one will touch each other's piles, whatever they are. They could be piles of plastic bottles. It could be piles of lumber. It could be piles of palm fronds. But whatever they make a pile out of, where I live here, everybody respects everybody else's boundaries. Like, for instance, last night, right, they don't stockpile it. Right, they'll leave it on the beach. They'll go to the beach, take their bath, and they'll bring 2 or 3 pieces home. They won't go back and forth. They'll take it as they need it. That's true. That's correct, Scott. They'll take it as they're going to use it for that day or night. So I find that really interesting. Like last night at 10 o'clock, I had a neighbor stop by. And I was awake, and I was watching a video. I was actually watching a video about the CDC, how they lied to us about the vaccinations. From Jimmy Dore, Dorr, I think his name is Jimmy Dore. I watch a lot of his videos. He puts up some interesting stuff. And he reads like parts of articles, and it's a good show. But the DNC triggered. The DNC has lied so much. He puts up a lot of lies from the DNC. But moving past that, 10 o'clock, I hear Michael. So I go outside. One of my neighbors brought 2 buckets, 2 5-gallon buckets of water over for me, because they know I can't pick up anything heavy because of the operation. Like a 5-gallon bucket of water is... Mayan buntag, guapo ka. Guapo. Oh, Barry, I have firewood for Nana, yeah? Later. Okay. Okay. Good morning. Mein Buntag. So, yep, they're going to take it. So that's set. And so anyway, so he's got 2 5-gallon buckets of water right outside the fence. And he said, Michael, you take a bath, because he saw I was, we ran out of water 8 days ago. So I had 20 of these 10-liter bottles, 20 of these bottles. I had just this bottle, these 2 bottles are my last 2 bottles. So last night I washed, but I couldn't take a bath. But last night I got to take a free bath. 2 5-gallon buckets of fresh water. It was like heaven. I got to tell you, it's hard living here in the province. Now, I have a big barrel to put water in, a 40 gallon barrel, but I need to actually put a valve at the bottom of the barrel. Mein Buntag. Hello. I have to put a valve at the bottom of the barrel. Okay, so you're going to watch me knock all these nails down, and then nobody else has any question? Triggered. Bill is triggered. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. Set this up. Yeah, well, I don't have room for a big barrel like that, 1,000 liters. I don't have the room, plus I'd have to move it soon anyway. Flying Circus. Boy, Flying Circus, that was a great video you posted this morning. That was, that's what I'm talking about, Flying Circus. Perhaps Barrier will assign Ding Ding to get the fire. Well, Ding Ding works for Nanai. He's the goat. He's the new goat herder for Nanai. So his full-time job is keeping firewood to the hearth and taking care of the goats. Plus, he has a job. He works security next door. Flying Circus, a man with extensive video content. All right, so let's get these nails knocked down quickly. Let me turn it around so I can see. Okay, that ought to do it. I don't like putting wood out with nails in it, because a nail will send you to the hospital, and these people, the last thing they need is to go to the hospital with a hole in their hand from a nail, because I was too lazy to knock the nail down. They don't need that at all. Oh no, it's raining now. Holy macaroni. Oh. All right, we have a way to fix that problem. Did you hear that? We will just put the camera in the house. out of nowhere. That's true. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, we're set. On the mark. Get set. Go. Justin. 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 starting to rain now. like we're done. Looks like it's gonna stop raining too. I should probably put that chainsaw away. Got wet. Got very wet. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another day. What? Wonderful. Be right back. Okay. One more thing. And it's done. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up those buckets and the boxes. And then I'll just halfway, nothing too heavy. Ding ding won't work in the rain unless it's something that he wants to do. He's funny like that. Ding ding once asked me for a job. Oh, 5 years ago. But I didn't need him when he was just like 16 years old, I guess. But I didn't need any help. So maybe a year or so later, I needed help to cut some grass. And I said, "You want to help me cut some grass?" No. I said no. But he didn't have any money. So I said, "What are you going to do for work?" And he told me what he was going to do for work. He told me he was going, he's 5'3" or 5'4". He told me he's going to be a basketball star. I think he believed that. And he never did get a job. He got a job he's a goat herder now. He's a full-time goat herder. He brings nanized goats. There's another property in the back where they're going to build a hotel. 350 rooms, about 175 feet from here. It's not 18 acres, 18 hectares. And they're putting 350 acres, 350 hotel rooms, and then condominiums. I don't know when that's going to start, but that's the project. Anyway, he stores his goats over there. These people are running out of places to put their goats. This is a big problem because it used to be a lot over there. Now there's a house. Then there was a lot in the back. Now there's a house. Then there was a lot up the block next to the Korean hotel. That's gone. They put up, I don't know what they think it was, a compressor room. But anyway, Ding Ding now has to walk 200 feet to get the goats, and then 400 feet to put the goats in a different lot. Big problems here these people have. It took me like 6 years to remember his name. I'm just not used to calling people Ding Ding. Allo would probably remember his name right away. Ding, 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 ding. Took me like 6 years to remember. Ding Ding. They named their children Ding Ding and Ding Dong. And I'm not kidding you. There's a lot of people named Ding Dong. There's a tricycle driver named Ding Dong that drives me home. There's a fruit and vegetable guy in Alona Beach named Ding Dong. A lot of people named Ding Dong. I guess their words means different stuff here. Anyway, the chainsaw got wet, but tomorrow I'll blow it out with the blower and put it out in the sun. It'll dry right up. There's a field on the flywheel and a coil inside the flywheel, and it just gets wet. And if I was using it and it started raining, it wouldn't shut off. But once it gets wet, the field shunts out. So you just got to let it dry. It'll start right up, 3 pulls, 4 pulls. So the next project is to put that stuff in it. Not a lot of material. I'll just put it in a couple of trays. I could actually set this camera up on top. I have an umbrella I built for the for the camera out of metal. It's a sheet metal. It's kind of like a lean-to. Works really well, even in rain like this. But the sun will be out in about 10 minutes. Looking for water. I don't see any water. I'm thirsty too. I think I got water over there. Hold on, I gotta get water. Guapo. Hello. Guapo, I'll put it in the front of the house or in the back?
Michael,
Yeah.
ang dami ka masin Michael ko. What the cement Michael ko say I buy a new what garang type Michael.
I have no machine for that. Which machine?
To broke the
A jackhammer?
huh?
A jackhammer?
Even small.
Oh, I have a jackhammer. You have.
To broke the small cement the money house cost the new pipe. They put
I cannot. Okay.
Mini tar every day.
When do you need the machine?
Uh,
After the rain.
after to put the fix pipe, they buy new pipe.
Maybe 1 hour?
I wait today.
Okay, let me know. Okay. I thought he wants to borrow the street saw. I will not. I have to get the street saw I will not lend out. The blade on the street saw is a $200 blade. The chipping hammer he can borrow. Not lend. A $200 blade, and they drop it, and it will be like this. You'll never be. It's a diamond, $200 diamond blade on a 14-inch street saw. Plus, I'd have to get it started, and I don't know that I could get it started because I'm not allowed to put a lot of pressure on my lower abdomen to pull it. It might start up with 5 pulls. It might be. I might have to take it apart, and take the carburetor off it. You can borrow the chipping hammer. There's not much damage they could do to that. That thing will chip concrete forever. But lending people tools that can bend a $200 blade, they will just say they're sorry. Sorry. And it's like brand new. I just put the blade on there last year. No, cannot borrow that. These plumbers came from the county, but they come on motorcycles, and whatever parts they need, they go to the store. There's no like county water truck that has every size fitting, every size coupling. Sorry isn't good enough. No, I just won't lend them those tools. And he's my landlord. He's paying for the pipe. He's paying for the saddle for the 3-inch manifold. He's paying for the 60 yards of pipe. So to lend him the tool is a pleasure because he's paying for the materials. But it's his property. I pay rent for, but I don't mind lending him the tools so that he can do it. And where the pipe, I mentioned this to my friends. I'm a licensed contractor. Now, if you guys don't figure that out by now, well, I can't help you with that. But I have 11 federal and state licenses. In stock, I have every size fitting that I would ever need to do any work in America for electric pipe, PVC pipe, and water pipe. And every glue and every cleaner. I have boxes of pipe, buckets of fittings. So when I went out with the backhoe and I ripped up a water line, I just thought all I had to do was go home if it was a Sunday and just go get the parts. These are 7 plumbers that come on motorcycles because they don't actually have a water truck. They have men that come on motorcycles. They have a roll of tape because it's a non-pressurized line. So a roll of black electrical tape fixes most leaks in most pipes. One roll of black electrical tape. But they don't have a straight bar or a pickaxe. They just don't have those tools. So what they do everything with a shovel and a piece of rebar with a grinded down flat end on the piece of rebar, which works. It's 1-inch rebar, but it's not a straight bar. I have a 6-foot straight bar with a 2.5-inch chisel head on it, carbon steel. Wapo. And but they don't have that kind of stuff. They don't have a chipping hammer. So yesterday when they came, they said, you have to replace the pipe. This is not my pipe. Talk to Guapo. So he went next door and he talked to him. And I told Guapo and I told the head plumber. That hurts to say that. I told him the manifold is underneath that flower box. The man put 4-inch concrete walls around this property and covered up the manifold. There was a manifold with the saddles for the whole back end of Dolho here. And I knew he did it. It's not my business to say don't do it. But when he did it, he broke a couple of pipes underneath the concrete. And one of them was mine. So I had to run a new pipe. And I did that. Then, I don't know what happened. It's under the ground. I put my pipe 12 inches under the ground. I don't know for what reason the pipe clogged up, broke, something. I don't know. It could be running full time now. I don't know. Because then he put a concrete driveway across everything. And that's not illegal. So when he put the concrete driveway across everything, I lost my pipe. So I tapped in with permission to the landlord's water pipe. And I just put a 90 on it and I paralleled. Plenty of water comes through the pipe. And I put a parallel pipe alongside his pipe. And then I hooked up my water meter to that. So now his pipe broke. So when they came to look for the saddle, the manifold, it's underneath concrete. So the next manifold that they can find is, it's at least 120 feet away. At least another 120 feet, but it's on the other side of 12 feet of concrete driveway. So they're gonna, the plumbers, that kills me to say that. The plumbers, he just told me, the plumbers left the pipe over the driveway. A piece of 3/4-inch PVC pipe. They just placed it over the top of the driveway. And they're done with that part of the job. Oh, God, that's funny. Yesterday, the plumber said to the plumber, the manifold's underneath that concrete wall. No. So, yeah, it's under that because that's where my pipe... No. He just kept saying no, and I'm going, yeah, my pipe, I put my pipe in that man. No, I'm the plumber. You don't know plumbing. You don't understand plumbing. And What? How long? 1 hour?
Ano, Michael? Ay, kinyo, Michael. Okay na, Michael.
Okay. Um. The plumbers. So, so anyway, he told me, you don't know plumbing. I'm a plumber. I said, where's your tools? I'm the plumber. You're not a plumber. The pipe is over there. So they had to run a pipe an extra, I don't know, another 110, 115 feet over the concrete. But it's free, so it's not all that bad. But damn, nobody ever told me I wasn't a plumber. Well, yeah, there's a guy, a couple of people have said that, but they don't know any better. He's a plumber. You're not a plumber. And they all stuck to that story. He's the plumber. They all pointed to the foreman, their foreman on it. He's the plumber. You're not a plumber. They just parroted whatever he said. That was funny. I had to walk away. I had to walk away. They don't plumb. Imagine if I asked them what a plumb bob was. No, I'm never gonna. No, no. When I eventually need water, no, the 3/4 inch pipe that there is plenty of water. When I have something built here, permanent structure, I'll just get a 2,000 liter water tank and pump the water up into the water tank, and then I'll have the runoff from the gutters and put chlorine in there. There's plenty of water, but just not for the little bucket that I have. When you just leave the water running and you fill up that 2,000 liters of water, and then you have rainwater running into it also, just throw chlorine in the reservoir. Chlorine. You buy a bottle of Clorox. That'll work. All right. Well, It didn't stop raining. I thought it was gonna stop raining. I'll check the comments. Then I'm gonna say goodbye. I want to get this lumber out of here. It's coming down now. It was raining pretty hard there before. Hey, Dennis. Yeah, that's true. That rain came out of, it seemed nowhere, but I saw the rain clouds gathering. It was sunny this morning at 8 o'clock. It was very, very hot at 8 o'clock. Okay, then I'm going to say goodbye while it's cool. Then I got to dig out that chipping hammer for him. One good thing is that after 8 days of not having water, boy, that was tough. I had four 10-liter bottles left. That's enough. It's enough to wash, but you can't really take a deep cleaning bath. You want to last night I took a nice bath. The neighbor, Michael, yes, 2 5-gallon buckets of water he left right over here for me by the gate. That was 10 gallons of water I had to take a bath. Not typically I do it with 3 gallons. That was a deep clean I did last night. Plus, I worked hard yesterday. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Well, Scott Day to everybody from Michael Fazio and Daisy May. I don't see Daisy May, but maybe soon. All right then, guys. Watch for my tomorrow. I'll be doing an alpha male scaffold pipe ladder construction. I'm gonna cut two 14-foot pieces of scaffold pipe out of 21-foot pieces. Bye-bye, Bill. Thanks for stopping by. And then I'm going to make 12 2-foot rungs. I'm going to make this a narrow scaffold ladder. I have a 3-foot one, so 2 men can climb up for my next project. And then I'll do a 24-inch one just for 1 man to go up at a time. So that's it. Amping Permi from the Philippines, and of course, Amping Permi means take care always. Bye bye for now. Thanks for stopping by, and that's it. It's an alpha male wrap for the day. Bye bye.